Written on these walls are the stories that I can't explain.
Hello guys, welcome to just checking in. How are you? I continue learning to fly the Blackhawk, and it's really difficult for me.
This mission is Sergeant Aircraft
I have done some improvements, but still I don't have the finesse to fly. I am trying to fly at low speed, at very low altitude, as if I was doing a Uber taxi. And for me, it's still not possible to do it smooth. I can do it, but it's not smooth, as you will see now. And probably my main problem is that I don't have rudder pedals. I am using Logitech Extreme 3D Pro. It's new, so it doesn't have many hours, but I have detected that it has some dead zones in the center. So when it returns to the center, it's providing inputs. So I have tuned those three axes by using dead zones, but it's not easy. As you can see, I am flying it, but not very well, because my altitude is constantly changing. I cannot keep a constant pitch, a constant speed. Now I am trying to orbit this building here, the control tower of this airfield, but I can do it, but not as I would like. So there is still a room for improvement. Probably I will change my stick. And the other problem I have is that it is very hard to keep all the time making all those just little inputs with a stick that has a dead zone. It's really difficult. So the stick at the center is just providing inputs. So this is very difficult to handle like this. And I also don't like the springs. I cannot change the tension of the springs. So, well. So as you can see, I can orbit the building, but it's not smooth. And my problem is the pitch. It's the only problem I have. I can control the yaw rudder using the z-axis, the z-axis, sorry. But the pitch, for me, the problem is the pitch. The roll is also not a problem. The problem is the pitch. As you can see, sometimes I just lose control of the pitch. But not always. Sometimes I am in control. Sometimes, and now I lose. So it's very difficult. And I also can land really smooth. Well, after some hours of flying on it, I have realized that the problem with the joysticks that are for that use springs is that you are fighting the springs constantly. So it is really difficult to have a good control regarding the pitch, because you are constantly you have to be constantly moving the stick up and down, so you must because of the springs of the stick, so it is very difficult. And now I am playing the the Blackhawk with a max load with a lot of weight, just to see if with more inertia it's more easy to fly, but it is not. It is even worse. So I am able to fly it. I am able to go from point A to point B or point C. Doesn't matter. I am able to land. But it is not. It is not nice. It is not smooth. So I land, but it's not as I would like to. I am having problems with the with the collective. I have bought a lot of collective. Normally, when the Blackhawk is just with a crew of 3 and that's it. The fuel at 60%, you can just fly around, and at 50% you can begin to hover over to float. You have round effect. Here I have had about 90% of torque just to take off. Normally, when it is not without blood, without that weight, at 60% it just takes off, and at 50% it begins to float, to lift, and you can do a hover taxi at around 50, between 50 and 60. It is nice. It is really at 60. At 50, it does the hover, but very low. And it's dangerous because if you touch with your wheels to the ground, you can capsize the helicopter. But now I have it has begun having some ground effect at 80% torque. And now I will fly to another runway, and you will see the other problem that I have is that when I am flying at a flight level with an altitude and I want to descend, I cannot descend. I can descend, but the problem is that it gathers a lot of speed. And if I try to control the angle of attack of the node, the pitch, it begins to oscillate up and down, and it's very difficult to reduce speed and to reduce altitude. So you will see when I arrive at the destination airport that I will have problems to land. The first attempt will be to land on the runway, but I can go down, I will decrease the altitude, but then the speed is so high, I cannot land. And I cannot flare it because I cannot control the mouse up. So in theory, to reduce the speed, you have to put the nose up and reduce the collective so that it doesn't climb. But when I try to do that, I lose control of the pitch. So it is very difficult because I am fighting the springs. And so so the problem, this problem I will have the same problem even if I change this plastic. So, and I don't know if there are plastic that's done more suitable for or has springs with less tension. I don't know. Well, I have to investigate it. So when you are flying it is really smooth. It is nice. You can control the pitch just by trimming the the position of the cyclic. But as soon as I try to do landings, it is very difficult for me. So this means that this thing here, this is the cyclic. Probably in a real helicopter it has no springs. So I think they have a magnetic brake, so you move it, and when you stop moving it, it just keeps there. You don't have to be constantly fighting against the spring that wants to return the cyclic to the center of to the neutral position. That's the problem. With the radar, you don't have this problem because you can play with the settings with the curves, and it's easy to control the radar, the pedals. But the pitch, is not easy to control. And this is also important to understand in a helicopter. In a helicopter, the RPMs must be constant, and the thing that you want to change is the torque. Now I am pitching up because I want to decrease my speed, but as doing so, I am also increasing altitude, as you can see. So now I was trying to reduce my speed to land, well, just to, and it is pretty difficult, because of course you cannot control where you land in this way. I am not able to select where I want to land. I just land where I can, and not where I want. So I am not able to transition from having translational lift to having the ground effect only, where I at the position in space that I want. It is not possible for me of doing that. So if I want now to land just in front of me, maybe anywhere here, I cannot go there and land. I will land wherever the helicopter just And now, as you can see, I am decreasing the altitude, but I am gaining speed. Of course, I have not reset the collective, as you are seeing. I am still applying torque, so I am not able to make a descent with the speed I want and reducing the altitude as I want. This is something that people don't understand. They think that when the helicopter is going up, the APMs, the RPMs of the main rotor is increasing, and it is not increasing. It is constant. It must be constant, and the same from the tail rotor. The tail rotor is connected to the main rotor, and the speed must be the same. The tail rotor is your yaw control. Okay. What you change is the torque by changing the pitch of the blades. There was an accident in the United States of an helicopter that was landing in a hotel, and and suddenly the tail rotor changed the RPMs because the mechanical connection between the main rotor and the tail rotor failed, or the gearbox, because it has a gearbox, and suddenly the RPMs of the tail rotor just went down, so it just slowed down, and suddenly the helicopter just raised it up, moved up, and start spinning, because the tail rotor was doing just nothing. So the pilot boosted the control of the pedals. It had no controls, and as that transmission between the main rotor and the tail rotor just broke, the main rotor suddenly it has less less load, and so it just increased the torque. So there was an increase in torque, a sudden increase in torque of the main rotor, and the plane just started moving up suddenly. And of course, and as they lose the torque from the tail rotor, the plane started spinning, and it just fell into the ground, because it was not a pilot error. It was just a mechanical problem. So, and they were lucky because they were not at a very high altitude. I don't know if they were landing or they were taking off, but they were at low altitude, and the helicopter just fell into the ground. Probably because the pilot did what it has to be done when you lose the tail rotor, that is to just bring completely move down the collective, okay, to reduce the torque, because if not, that spinning will be even worse. And as you can see, now I was trying to land, but the speed to land and the speed is so high that I have decided not to land, because this is crazy. This is too high speed. Look. Too high. So I decided to abort the landing and to do a turnaround. And some of you will say, "Oh, okay, why didn't you flare? Why didn't you pitch up the nose up, reduce the torque, so pull down the collective?" But because I cannot control the pitch correctly, I didn't do it. So now what I am trying to do is to reduce my speed and land vertically, and that's it. That's what I am trying to do. And so I don't know if I will manage to, but so if you are having the same problem, the problem is not you. The problem are the springs that you are fighting against the springs. So that is the problem. And the other problem is that if you want to purchase something, to some kind of flight control to fly helicopters, they are very, very expensive, because there is not a lot of people doing this. So and of course with that, then you will have a good control. But I think, look, so look at the now, have an eye on the on the cyclic, have an eye on the pedals, and have an eye on the collective, and you will see how how many input you have to be doing just because you are fighting against the springs. There are some plastics where you can adjust the tension of the springs, so then it will be easier because you will not have to be doing that many force against the springs. But in my case, I cannot adjust the tension of the spring, so I also have to investigate this thing. If there is which sticks you can adjust the tension of the springs, or if you just can just take them out. I don't know if what will do the stick if you take the springs out. I don't know. And now look at that stabilizer. It's going down, it's moving down, it's trying to help me to keep the nose pitching up. The nose up. So you are fighting that stabilizer and the springs. That's the main problem. So just look at the cyclic, at the pedals, and at the collective, and you will see when I begin fighting everything. And I will begin fighting a lot when we transition from translational lift to ground effect lift. Then it's when you will see me starting to fight. And normally in this helicopter that transition is at 50 knots. Below 50 knots you don't have translational lift. And now, as you can see, if you decrease the pitch, you increase the speed very, very fast. Now I am beginning to apply to apply also rudder inputs. So I am using the tail rotor because the helicopter wants to turn to the left, to spin to the left. So I need to use the pedals. Now I am decreasing torque, as you can see, at 50%. So now the plane will begin to fall down. This is another very important thing about helicopters, that is, if your vertical speed is very fast, is very high, when you are going down, so it is negative, you don't have any kind of ground effect, because the plane is moving so fast that is moving faster than the air that is pulling down, so pushing down the air that is pushing down, your helicopter is moving faster, so it does nothing. You don't have any kind of lift. You lose your lift, and the helicopter will just fall down like a brick. And in this case, as this helicopter is really, really heavy, it doesn't have any kind of lift when you don't have translational lift, unless you are at 80% torque. And now I am at 50% because I want to decrease my altitude. And now I was trying to land somewhere here, but I cannot choose where. I will just land where I am close to the ground, and that's it, because I am not able to control the forward speed currently, because I have to fight against the springs, so I cannot control it. And it's and the springs of the Logitech Steam TV are pretty hard, pretty strong, so it is very difficult for me. Another thing that is the distance that you have. The distance from the point of rotation of your stick and your hand, in this case, it's not a long distance, so you don't have a lot of control. Okay, and now I will lose my translational lead, and I should increase the torque. I am increasing the torque, and now I lost control. And I landed, but wow, this is not the way to land. And look at And look at the stabilizer, it's completely down because it wants to help you with the nose, to keep the nose up. Now I will take off again and I will try to land again. So yeah, I am pulling up the collective, and as you can see, until it reaches 80%, it will not move. Now it's beginning to move. And as you can see, that tail stabilizer is trying to keep the mouse up, the nose up. Sorry, not the mouse. And look at the pedals. I am pressing left pedal like crazy right now because the plane. If not, you can. And now I am trying to keep the nose pitched down. So I am fighting against the springs and against that stabilizer. But well, now another thing that I recommend you is that just watch the replay and look at what you are doing and what the helicopter is doing. If you have seen the movie Blackhawk Down, it's just a helicopter. They shoot it down a Blackhawk, and I don't remember where it was, the name of the town or the country. I think it was in Africa. And they shoot it down a Blackhawk, and then they had to rescue the crew, and it was a disaster because they were outnumbered. And now look at this red indicator. Okay, it is telling me that I am stressing the main rotor, and this is and you know it because you hear the noise. You hear brr, 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 brr. You are abusing. Yeah. So when you hear that noise, just try to soften your inputs. And now, as you can see, I am beginning to fight against the springs again. I am trying to keep low altitude and low speed, and it's really, as you can see, I have decreased the torque to 34%. So now the helicopter is just going down, because now I should go to I should transition between translational lift and ground effect lift, and then Hoover taxi Hoover to where I want to land and land there. But I cannot control where I will be. Now I am nearly at 50 knots, so now in theory I will begin to have some kind of, but I am too high. So this altitude you don't have ground effect. The ground effect is, I think, it's proportional to the diameter of the main rotor, and of course the diameter of the main rotor is not 390 feet. So it's lower than that. But now I am beginning to increase my corrective again, because if not I will fall down like a brick. I am using the pedals for the anti-torque, and I am, as you can see, I am moving the stick like crazy because I am fighting against the springs. Now I am at 77% of torque, 78. So now I am landing, yeah, but well, it's not bad. It's not a bad landing, but I have landed well here. Yeah, not well. So, I mean, if I have wanted to land at those trees in front of me, I cannot control. I can still not control. I don't have this kind of control. Now I am taking off again. Now I could try to do some kind of Hoover, but I cannot do it So when you are in this state, you can land whenever you want. It's not difficult. But I cannot also do a hover. So I can taxi hover, but I cannot do a hover. Hover is when the helicopter is just a little bit above the ground, stop it there without moving. So I can do this thing. I can taxi hover. This is a taxi hover. But I cannot do a hover. But when you are in this state, in this kind of state, you can choose where you can land. It's more easier because you can move. Okay. But I am having problems to transition. To do the transition between transnational lift and ground effect, or from a high speed to a really low speed. So from a speed higher than 50 knots to a speed lower than 50 knots. I cannot do it in a controlled way. I do it, but not I cannot choose the position in a space where I will do it. So maybe with some practice I will be able to do it. Another thing that I am seeing is that when you are learning, try always to fly with the same weight, because if you change the weight, the helicopter behaves different, so it will be more difficult to learn. So try first to learn always with the same configuration. I like to fly with more weight because it's more difficult to lift off and to take off. So if it has something that is more difficult, it's always good for learning. Another thing that is important is that when you are in the ground, don't bring the collective to full power. You have to increase it very, very slowly until you begin to feel that the helicopter wants to move a little bit up or forward or to the left or to the right, and then just leave it there, see what it's doing, and then give it a little bit more power. So that it's not like a plane that you can go full power, because if you go full power with your collective with full torque, you will just capsize the helicopter. Well, and some planes you cannot also go to full power because they will, especially the ones that only have one propeller. If you bring let's say a Mustang or a Spitfire or a VF-109 to full power, it will just capsize. So now I was trying to land here in front of me, and I, well, not at that T that is in front of us, and as you will see, I will land short of that position, and I nearly crash it, as you will see now. So let's look it from the outside. And you will see how I am fighting with the pitch again. I am fighting with the springs, and that movement is due to spring tension of my flying stick. But well, I managed to land. A little bit hard, but well, I managed to land, and I wanted to land there at that T. But well, it is what it is. See ya, guys. I need to learn a lot, a ton.